right, now we're going to move into another area here, building some rock formation. This is where it gets a little hairy for some of you. Notice all the rock formations on this right side and over here on this left side. Notice how dark they are, just like everything else in this painting is pretty dark. Now, you've done this before. Now, this scares some of you, but just do it, okay? Take the burnt sienna, the blue, a little purple, just anything down here that will make a dark color as long as it's on the earth side, earth tones, and you just start blobbing in. And then you all know what comes next. We take these blobs and we turn them into rocks. And that's one of the most fascinating things, and I guess of all of the cards and the letters that we get from you folks from all around the world is how can you take, it just seems like magic, like a little miracle that you can take such blobs of paint and turn it into something that looks like something. Well, that's the secret to this, is being able to take blobs of paint and knowing enough about composition and design and values that you can actually go in there and make something out of this without pre-drawing every single rock and creating your own sort of paint by number. And that's where I get kind of tickled with some of you. You always want to try to draw these in just perfect and fill them in, outline them, and then they look more like a cartoon. Now, if you're an illustrator and you have need for that, that is perfectly all right. But as a fine artist, and you got to remember that's what these shows are built around, your techniques and your value system, everything is a little different. So don't try to go in there and make everything so perfect. Notice how loose and rough the strokes are. And see right out in here where the water's going to be rippling over the rocks, you come on out and pull in some dark areas as well. Ah, yeah, now we're cooking. It's going to get more exciting all the time. Now, see, you think you're making a big mess at this stage, but you're not. You're actually creating the pockets of dark spaces where your highlights are going to go to create your rocks. And then, of course, in between some of these rock formations, you will have your grasses and some other things. Now, there's a little bit back in there. There are all kinds of little pockets, if you look in here, of dark and light values, little ripples. See, there's some rocks that are even back here a little further on this first little bend right here. And you've got to have these dark values in the water in order for the highlights later to come through to create all the ripples. Okay, we'll just keep going here. And notice I'm just kind of smudging out into the water, not being too careful. I am making sure, however, that I don't have too much canvas showing through. Sometimes that's not a problem. In this case, because you need the darker background to really do its thing, try to get most of your canvas covered as best you can. Now, this area right in through here is going to be this big patch of grass. So even though it's going to be dark, it's going to be a different kind of dark. And let's go into the burnt sienna. Be a little yellow and orange in it. You can throw a little touch of purple in there to darken it if you choose to. And this will be the underpainting for the pocket of grass on this side. And like I mentioned, this first 30 minutes is pretty much taken up just filling in the canvas, getting all the underpainting done. So we've done that. And we will, right after we get this corner done and things sort of set up on us a little bit, we will begin the process of highlighting and adding all of the main little components that give this painting its three-dimensional effect. I promise this is going to be a painting that you're going to really probably enjoy the process probably more than some of the others we've done where we had some amounts of detail work involved, because this is all the way through. This painting is very loose, very free. And in the end, you can make it look like a photograph. You can keep it loose and rough. You can take it all the way to a museum-type piece or just a fun painting for your own use. Now, we've got everything covered. Remember, 6 feet is the average viewing distance. And even in this stage, if you guys will notice, it looks pretty healthy. I mean, it's a good, healthy-looking value system. Strong dark and strong light. It looks just like you got a spot of light coming in here, which, by the way, sets the stage for us to get our mind and our artistic license to start thinking about stuff like that. So now we have to decide exactly where our light's coming from. And we haven't really decided that yet. You can make that decision now, either from the right or from the left. And then we'll begin the process of highlighting, but in just a minute here we're going to start putting on all of the leaves and things up here with this number 10 bristle brush. This is where we're really going to have fun.